Greetings, math fans. All right, so this is day 8, which is worksheet 7. Okay, so day 8, and it's worksheet 7. And basically, again, it's more radicals, but what we're going to do today is we're going to be multiplying radicals. We've kind of done that already a little bit, but this is going to be just a little bit more involved. Okay, so I mean, real quickly here, if I said the square root of 7 times the square root of 7. So this is kind of a really good one to talk about. And I know we've mentioned this before, but square root times square root of 7 is, I know everyone wants to go, oh, 7 times 7, 49, and then take the square root of 49, which is 7. So what I'm trying to encourage you guys to do is when you see the same number, it's just that number. So the square root of something times the square root of something is that something. Okay, as opposed to trying to multiply it out. And the reason I kind of say that is if I gave you the square root of 173 times the square root of 173, what are you going to do? Multiply that out and get some big nasty number, then go, oh, now I got to take the square root of it? No, you're going to recognize that these are the same number. So if they're the same number, that means the answer is just 173. Okay, the square root just kind of, I don't want to say it like just goes away, but it's, you've created a perfect square. Like 7 times 7 is 49. You've created a perfect square because it's the same number. Okay? So that's really important just to recognize if it's the same number underneath the square root, the square root basically just cancels out. Okay? All right. So, so that's, anyway, let's talk about just a little bit more multiplying now. So if I said square root of, let's do square root of 12 times the square root of 18. All right, so remember, I don't want you multiplying it together because what do you have to do? I've told you so many times now with these square roots, you got to split it up. You got to break it up. Okay, so remember what I told you right on the top of the paper: 2, 3, 5, and 7. Okay, if you start dividing it by 2, 3, 5, and 7, you are good to go. So I'm going to take that 12. And I am going to break it up. I can say, well, if I divide it by 2, I get 6 times 2. And I can take that 6 and I can say 3 times 2 times 2. Okay, good. We're good to go. Can't do anything more. And then 18, I'm going to just write here. 18 divided by 2 is 9 times 2. And then the 9 can be broken up into 3 times 3 times 2. Okay, so now when you put it together, this is what you get. 3 times 3 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay? So it looks complicated, but it's really not difficult, not at all. You actually just look for perfect 3s and perfect 2s, and those come out. Okay? So the 3 comes out, the 2 comes out, and what's left over? Hey, another 3 and a 2 here. So your answer for this problem is 6 root 6. Okay, that's actually easy if you split it up. If you don't split up, if you say 12 times 18 and you get a big old nasty number, then it's not easy. You got a lot to do. Okay, so that's just a little important thing about multiplying radicals together. You know, simplify it if you can. Don't put it together unless you know. It's like, let's say a 5 and a 6. Well, okay, 5 times 6 is 30. You can't do anything with the 5 and the 6. In fact, if I just show that, really, square root of 5 times square root of 6, what you would do is you would say, okay, 5 can't do anything because remember, 5 is one of our numbers, and 6 is 2 times 3. And that's it. You can't do anything more, so you'd multiply it all together, and you'd get the square root of 30. Okay? All right. So let's kind of get into what we're going to do in this lesson a little bit now. If I had the square root of 5 times 4 plus 3 square root of 5. So basically what we're doing here, math fans, is we're distributing that term, that square root of 5, we're multiplying it by 4, and then we're taking that square root of 5 and multiplying it by 3 root 5. That's what we're doing, just multiplying it out. Okay, so 4 times root 5 is just 4 root 5. And 3 root 5, now if you want, you can put a 1 here if that helps when you multiply it out. So it's going to be 1 root 5 times 3 root 5. So 1 times 3 is 3, so plus 3 root 5 times root 5. Again, please don't write root 25, just say 5, because it's the same number. Okay, so now I get 4 root 5 plus 15, and that's it. Remember from the last lesson, you can't add radicals together unless they're exactly the same number under the radical. Okay, and that 15 has no radical, so it's just 4 root 5 plus 15. Okay? Okay, let's try another one here. How about 2 root 3 times 5 root 3 minus 2 root 6. That's kind of a nice one. It's got a lot of stuff to it. Okay, so again, I'm going to multiply that by those two. So 2 times 5 is 10. Root 3 times root 3 is 3. Okay, and then minus, that's 2 times 2 is 4. And again, I'm not going to say 3 times 6. I'm just going to write out 3 times 6. I'm not going to put it together. So I get 30. That's easy. And 4, well, that 6 can be broken to 3 times 2. So that comes out. So 30 minus 3 comes out, and you have a 4 there still, and then we have a 2 left over. So my answer is 30 minus 12 root 2. Okay? Not bad. It really is not, it's stuff we've done like almost the first or second chapter of the year, just distributing, right? If I had a problem like, 2 times x plus 3, you distribute the 2. So we're kind of combining that with radicals. Okay? All right, so let's do a few more here. We'll do one more with a single guy, and then we'll get to like 4 terms together. Okay, so if I said 2 root 5 times 3 root 10 minus 4 root 15. Okay, it's probably maybe one of the toughest ones you're going to get. So let's go ahead and multiply it out. So it's 2 times 3 is 6, and again, I'm not going to combine them together. 5 times 10. And then minus 2 times 4 is 8, and 5 times 15. Okay, cool. We're almost done. That 5 is good to go. The 10 is 2 times 5. And the 15 is 3 times 5. Okay, so you guys should recognize you have a pair of 5s that comes out. And here you have a pair of 5s that comes out. So I have 6 times 5 with a root 2 left over, minus 8 times 5 with a root 3 left over. So I get 30 root 2 minus 40 root 3. And that's it. That's your answer. Okay? It's not bad. Okay, so let's do binomials now. Let me show you, it's really not that bad. So if I did let's say root 2 minus root 5 times root 3 plus root 5. So guys, you remember it's just FOIL. FOIL stands for first, O is outer, I is inner, and L is last. And it's just the terms. Okay? So remember, these are your first terms. These are your outer terms. These are your inner terms. And these are your last terms. Okay? And even if you forget FOIL, guys, truly what you're doing is this first set of parentheses, everything in the first set of parentheses gets multiplied by everything in the second set of parentheses. So that root 2 gets multiplied by both of these terms. And this negative root 5 gets multiplied by both of those terms. That's all it is. Okay? All right, so let me write this out just a little cleaner now. Root 2 minus root 5 times root 3 plus root 5. Okay, so let's do FOIL. Root 2 times root 3. Can't simplify that at all, so I'm just going to write root 6. Outer, root 2 times root 5 is root 10, so plus root 10. Can't simplify that. Inner minus root 15, right? These two, right? Root 5 times root 3. And then last is root 5 times root 5 is 5. So really, math fans, this is the answer. Why is this the answer? Can't simplify it anymore. It's happened to be 4 terms. That's it. Can't simplify it. Okay? Okay. So let's do another one here. All right. We'll do another binomial here. Okay. So if I said root 5 minus root 3 and 2 root 5 plus 3 root 3. That's a good one. Okay, so do FOIL. I can do the first term, so 2 times, and that's root 5 times root 5 is just 5. Outer plus 3 times, well, 5 and 3 can't simplify. Remember, if I write 2, 3, 5, and 7. So when I do outer, 5 times 3 is 15. So I can't do anything with that. And inner, if you want to put a 1 there, that helps. Okay, so you're going to get minus 2 root 15. And last is minus 3 times 3. Okay, that's your last, right? So you get 10 plus 3 root 15 minus 2 root 15 minus 9. Okay, 10 minus 9 is 1. 3 root 15 minus 2 root 15 is 1 root 15. Or root 15 is fine. That's it. That's your answer. Okay? Not bad. Not bad. Let's keep going here. Let's do another one. How about root 7 minus root 6 times root 7 plus root 6? Okay, let's do FOIL. Root 7 times root 7 is 7. Outer, 7 and 6. You can't combine those together. 7 is just 7, and 6 is 2 and 3. So there's nothing to do. So it's going to be plus root 42. And then inner is minus root 42. And last is minus 6 times 6 is 6, or root 6 times root 6 is 6, so minus 6. If you notice, math fans, this canceled out. Interesting. Okay, root 42 minus root 42 is 0. That's gone. So you literally just have 7 minus 6, which is 1. Okay. Let's do a couple more here. If I said 4 minus root 3 times 2 plus root 3. How's that one? Okay, let's do FOIL. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times root 3 is plus 4 root 3. Inner is minus 2 root 3. And last is root 3 times root 3 is 3, so minus 3. Okay, 8 minus 3 is 5. 4 root 3 minus 2 root 3 is 2 root 3. And that's it. Done with the problem. What? Okay. It's not too bad. Sometimes things cancel out, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you have 4 terms, sometimes you have 2 terms, sometimes you have 1 term. It all depends. All right, so let's do just a couple more, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, let's do one with just variables in it. So square root of x plus the square root of y times square root of x minus the square root of y. So if I FOIL that, I get root x times root x is just x outer minus square root of xy inner plus the square root of xy and last minus y. And notice that these cancel, so your answer is just x minus y. Okay, not bad. Okay, last one. Again, this is kind of all just, we're doing the same thing over again, just being careful when you multiply stuff out. So 5 root 3 minus 4 and root 3 plus 1. Okay, so let's do FOIL. So 5 root 3 times, so I'm going to put a 1 here, just makes it easy. So I get 5 times 3, right? 5 root 3 times 1 root 3 is 5 times 3. Outer plus 5 root 3. Inner minus 4 root 3. And last is minus 4. So we get 15 plus 5 root 3 minus 4 root 3 minus 4. So 15 minus 4 is 11. 11 plus 1 root 3. And that's it. That's the answer to that problem. Okay? So that's really not that bad. Just be careful when you're multiplying everything out. And like I said, simplify kind of at the end. Don't try to simplify. Don't try to even multiply stuff together because you're going to have to simplify it anyway. And you guys should be good to go. All right? That's it, math fans. Have an outstanding day. Adios. Goodbye.